even for someone like me who has been doing this for years, and I'm used to writing captions, I'm used to making content, it takes time. And the thing is, ChatGPT doesn't need time, it only needs a command.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Down and Dirty. And today I have with me Pushkar Parmar. He is the community manager at Unagi. He's been there for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, I think. And super excited to have him on the show. He's a little bit of an outlier and yet kind of expected for someone who is in such a dynamic space as community management. He dropped out of college at 18, is self-taught, has done a bunch of courses on YouTube and kind of worked his way to this current position as community manager, something that Pushkar is very, very proud of. And we're going to talk more about that in a second. Pushkar, welcome to the show.
I thank you so much, Tapsi, and I'm really excited to get this going and really excited to be here and share my journey and what I love to do as a community manager.
Fantastic. So to get the ball rolling, let's start, Pushkar, with getting to know you a little bit better. If I had to ask you what a day in your life looks like, from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed, can you walk me through that?
Yes, absolutely. So I like to wake up early. I've always loved waking up early. It adds to that notion, right? That, yeah, you woke up early. What a great thing to do. So I wake up early. I go to the gym in the morning at 6 a.m. I'm back by around 7:30. And I don't go to my desk directly. That's something that I've learned with time, that you don't go to your desk directly. So I do some meditation, and I think around 9 after breakfast is when I reach my desk. So the funny thing about my work is I work in a different time zone. So it doesn't start at 9 a.m. It actually starts right now in December at 2:30 p.m. So I have a lot of time leading up to work. So that's when I sit down. I do all of my research. Sometimes you'll have me playing some geography games because that's something I'm really madly into. So I'll get most of my research done. I'll do some client work. I'll edit some videos. I'll lay out what I have to do for the day. I make a list of what I've done yesterday and what I need to carry on to today. And that's something that really helps me stay on the horizon. And I know something that I've also learned with time is you cannot be at your 100% on every day. So I know, okay, I'm not feeling super excited today, so I won't be working at my 100%. I'll give my 75%, but I'll give it all of my all of my time and all of my energy. So I make a list of my tasks, and that's when I start working around 10:30 is when I start reaching out to the designer. I'll start reaching out to my colleagues. Okay, we need to do this today. We need to post this. This is something we need to take care of today. And these are the things the community needs to know. So we might need an announcement. We might need an AMA. I look into what calls I have, which influencers I need to reach out to. I start the communication because I also take care of our influencers in India. We have started reaching out to a few in India, so it's good to get in touch with them early. Look at what we are planning to post in that day, in that week, or what the thing is, and then this keeps on happening. I take a few breaks. I'll watch a YouTube video, maybe in between. I'll listen to a podcast. I'll listen to some songs, and then I go for lunch. And once I'm back, that's when my work actually starts at 2:30. So it starts with a morning call. You meet everyone. They are in the morning. Half of my day is already done.
Right, because
So
your Unagi is in Paris, right? So
yeah,
it's what, five
it's
and a half hours?
4.5 hours right
Four and a
now,
half.
and because they're daylight saving right now,
Right.
usually it's just 3.5 hours. I'm saying just 3.5 hours because I'm
Mhm.
so used to it now.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, it's their morning, but that's when my day starts. We have a few calls, and then it's work. You need to see what's going on. You need to find some decent memes every day, which is the best part about my work. So I scroll a lot of Reddit. That's where the memes are born. That's what I believe in. So that's what you look into. It also involves me watching a lot of football games. So I have
Hmm.
to watch a lot of games at night. So I'll summarize everything. Okay, this is something that's extraordinary that the community is going to love on Twitter. Maybe let's start a conversation around this on Discord. Let's see how the Instagram audience reacts to a quiz about this. And that's what I communicate with my team, and that's what we pounce upon. So the thing with social media, especially when it comes to something like sports, is that you cannot plan it out for a week. You need to be very spontaneous, and that's something that I really focus on. And that's how the day goes on. Sometimes I'll have three, four, five meetings. Some days, like Thursdays, I don't have any meetings at all, so I'm completely focused on my work. So the day gets over around 10:30, and yeah, it's a very long day. I've heard that already from a lot of people. Then I play some football, and that's when I relax. Then if I have to watch a game, I'll watch a game, and once I'm done, I'm in bed by 12 or 1 a.m., which is still very late. I'd like to sleep early, but yes. So that's mostly my day. I uh, put in dinner somewhere in between these things, and I'll put in a cup of tea with my mom in between these things. The best part about working from home is I get to spend a lot of time with my family. So that's the reason I wanted to transition into a remote setting firstly. So yeah, it helps, and that's what I personally believe helps me in working very efficiently, because I know I can always go downstairs, sit down with someone from my family, and have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, talk with them. If they're watching a web series, you'll see me sitting there for 15, 20 minutes discussing that with them. So I take
Hmm.
frequent breaks. I'll go for walks every couple of hours. I'll just randomly stand up and do that bowling action that most Indians would relate with, because yes, you love the game, so you have to do it. So yeah, that's my day. It's pretty chill, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've loved it, the way things are carried out at Onagi, especially because you get the space to think, you get the space to take action, which really lacked in the places that I worked before in India. So yeah, that is my day. Very expansive, I'm assuming, but yes.
So, I find it, I think you're so lucky. You love sports and you're connected to a gaming studio where your job involves, you
Yeah.
know, reading about sports, researching about what's trending, what would be exciting to the community of other sports lovers. So, that you're lucky. You're lucky. And I'm
It's
sure you work in
more
that
of
direction.
hard work
I was going to
than
say
luck,
it's
of
it's got to
course.
be
Yeah.
both.
No,
Correct,
yeah.
correct. It's got to be both. I feel like it's a combination of
Yes.
your manifestation, your energy. You've put it in that direction. That's where you want to go, and the doors opened and allowed this to also happen. So fantastic, great. So your day ends pretty late, and then you get up pretty early because you said you're an
Yeah.
early riser, so not a lot of sleep. So it makes sense that you're kind of taking breaks in the day to refresh, right? Especially if you're not. It seems like it's not like you sleep for one solid chunk and then you work for some one solid
Yeah.
chunk. It's actually much more fluid than that. So that's great. So tell me something. Who is Pushkar as a community manager? Like, what is your essence as a community manager?
I think that I've been a part of a lot of communities over the span of before reaching, being a community manager myself. I've played a lot of games. I've supported a club that has a worldwide fan base. I've been connected to people across the world for over, I don't know how many years now. So it has developed me into a person that likes to listen to people, listen to their concerns, that likes to excite people with content, especially, which I absolutely love working on. And that's how I have developed into a community manager. Like, even if you look at me uh, talking to people on Discord, I'll be talking to them, okay, it's so hot in India right now, even though it's winter. So things like that. I like to talk to people. That's me. I like to talk to people about any random thing, any random shit. You can pick up any topic and I'll probably know something about it, and I'll be like, okay, what do you know? Tell me that. So it's not limited to football. So me as a person is very keen on conversation. I'm like, okay, what do you bring to the table? Let's talk about that. So that's something that has helped me immensely. And when I talk to people in a community, which is mostly based in Europe, there are people from Russia, there's people from Indonesia, and everywhere across the world, I always end up finding a common ground. So that's something that has not only helped me as a community manager, it has helped me as a person. And most importantly, it helps me settle into teams where it's not usually very easy to go around and find your place. So I might only be a community manager, but I do various kinds of things. And I think it's essentially very important to relate with your community. And no matter what community you're a part of, you need to relate with them in terms of what they have invested in the game, in terms of assets, how they play the game, how involved they are, what do they see, like what's their long-term vision of the game. And it's not just limited to the game. It of course is an essential key point to managing any community. But the more you relate to them, the more that they feel you're a part of the community, which you are, of course, and the better it gets. So that's what it has been for me. When I joined Unagi, I think I was just 22 years old, and I was very young and very, you can say, young, dumb, and bold. So with in the last 2.5 years, I've learned this thing that uh, age does that to you. I'm still young, but I'm still saying it, that you become very calm and you want to listen to people, and you need a lot of empathy to be a
Got it.
community manager.
So what are some challenges that you face, Pushkar, in doing your job better? What comes in the way?
The thing with communities is they don't have a defined mood. It's
Mm,
like dealing with someone who is very moody. So
mm,
you need to be very patient. And it is a characteristic of all communities, as I've seen over the years. Uh, there will be shifts in what they think about a specific thing multiple times in a day, and you need to be able to address that. You need to be able to calm them down. You need to be able to comfort them. That's the first challenge. You need to be very mentally involved with the community, and then you need to build that trust. That's of course one of the challenges. Then there's managing a schedule that's crazy. You don't get holidays. Like, you can, but you can't. So even when I'm on holiday, I'm always on my phone, I'm always on my laptop. We have other community managers as well. I've seen them being available at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night at their time zone. So it's a crazily hectic kind of job. And you need to be, let's say, it's not something you look at as a job. It's something you look at, okay, I am a part of this community, and this is an added responsibility to be available all the time. On Christmas, on New Year's, I've
wow.
worked on Diwali nights.
I
So
can imagine.
you
So,
need to
because
be
that's when the
available.
community is active, right? Community
Yes,
is active
yes,
on holidays, and when they have the
yes.
time to be active. So something's got to give, and I guess what
Yeah.
gives here is your time because you've got to be active. So, what enables you then? So, if the flip, one side is these two big challenges that you talked about, the moodiness as well as availability. What enables you to be better at your job or to do better at your job?
Uh, I think the thing that you love the most about this specific job is that when you give them your best in terms of content, in terms of results, whatever it may be, the community appreciates you and they realize it, that you have put in a lot of hard work. And one of the great things about our community is that it's a bunch of very educated and very realistic people who realize that, okay, these guys have put in crazy amounts of hard work to get pull this thing off. Like we recently signed. I don't know if you have heard of this club. They're FC Barcelona. It's massively popular. It was a big deal for us, and moments like these keep me driven. Like the moment we announced them, I knew it for a couple of months and I had it in my head, but you cannot let the community know. And the moment we announced it, they were like crazy happy. The reactions were wild, and no one like expected it. And we built up to that with clues over a span of a couple of weeks. So it's things like that. It's how you present what you have, because I'm someone who's very excited about content. I'm very
Hmm.
excited about exciting other people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what
Okay.
keeps me going. Yeah.
So if I had to, stalk you for a day, come home and look over your shoulders and look at what you're doing on your computer, what would be a few things that you would always have open so that you could do your job every day? Like, what are those? I can't live without these things to stay excited, to keep doing my research, to reach out to my
Yeah.
community. What is that ecosystem or what does that stack look like?
I think you'll see around 30, 35 odd tabs firstly.
Okay. Let's try five or maybe
Yes.
seven.
No, I'll list down the easiest ones.
Okay,
Twitter
okay.
is the
Huh.
first thing that's
Okay, okay.
always open. I've
Okay.
never closed the Twitter tab ever, apart from updating the browser. I've never
Okay.
closed it. I browse Twitter like a crazy person. So you can
Okay.
count this as social media. There's Twitter,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Discord, Instagram,
Mm,
Reddit, and you'll see me on a couple of Desi Indian apps, if I must say. You'll see me on Hood. I'm using a lot of my time over there. And uh, YouTube, Twitch, why not? Like, so
yeah.
these are like the social
Okay.
media things. There's Slack for communication. Uh, then you'll see me use Notion a lot, and a wild, crazy amount of using Notion, because I just love how easy it is to use. And I use Notion for my personal tasks. I use it for my job. And then lastly, it's the Adobe suite that I'll never let go. It's like
Okay.
you can put me out of my house, take away my house, just give me my laptop, give me Photoshop, After Effects, Premiere, and I'll still earn a living out of it. So
Wow.
yes, that's something you'll always see. So these are a few things. Google Meets is like an extension of Chrome, of course, so there's nothing new about
Mm,
that. Spotify I use to listen to music, and like I've been on subscription for years now, so I don't know what it feels
yeah.
like without being on
Without
subscription. You
it.
cannot change music and stuff. So Spotify, you need to, sometimes you do need music to calm yourself down,
Of course. Of course.
especially with me. So I love music, and yes, these are
Okay.
a few things. On my tabs, you'll see ChatGPT, which I'll never stop using again. It's a part of my life. I wake up and I'll do my stuff. I'll go to ChatGPT. Okay, I missed you for the entire night. Take me back. So that's
You
something.
have a love. You're having a love affair with ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'm having an affair. Please don't tell my girlfriend. And yeah, and I think AI tools I use a lot. I've been using Adobe Firefly just to test it out, how it has been doing. There's a meme generator that finds you the best memes based on AI search. So that's something I use. But ChatGPT, of course, hands down saves me a crazy amount of time every day. So that's
Okay,
something
so
I use.
I'm going to do spoiler alert. We are going to talk about ChatGPT. So I'm not going to ask you which tool you're going to talk about. But
Yeah,
because you said it saves you a ton of time, my question to you is not about how it saves you time. We all know how
yeah.
ChatGPT saves everybody time. What I'm more interested in is why is it important to get things done fast? I mean, it sounds a little redundant, but I want to know in the context of your life, right?
Yeah.
And what your priorities are. How is it that ChatGPT is helping you, just manage life a little better?
I think having ChatGPT is like having an assistant. So it's like Siri is right next to you and you can tell Siri what to do. So saving time, especially in my scenario, is a very key role. It plays a very, very key role because I have to do 10 things at once. While there's something going on Discord, I also need to get a tweet out. There's an email campaign that's waiting for me to check it out and get the go ahead. So it has never been that I have the leisure and the opportunity to sit down, chill, relax. Okay, I'll write down this caption with all of my wit and get the best out of it. No, sorry, that's not how it works for community managers. You need to do tens of things at once. And when you have chat gpt, I think it takes half of it away. Because see, AI is not something you can rely on 100%. I still don't believe in that.
Mm.
AI won't take away your job just yet. So yes, but it helps you in a way that I don't know how to explain it, but it really cuts down on time in a massive way. So let's say uh, there's a player. Uh, Lewandowski has scored a hat trick in yesterday's game week, and you have the asset ready from your graphic designer, but you need a caption. You need a nice, witty caption that goes down well with the community, that highlights what he has done, that also highlights the features in the game. And there are like 10 different things that you have to do in a caption that can only expand up to 280 characters. How are you going to do humanly do that? Like, even for someone like me who has been doing this for years, and I'm used to writing captions, I'm used to making content, it takes time. And the thing is, ChatGPT doesn't need time, it only needs a command. So once you explain what you want to ChatGPT, it's going to produce 90% of what you want. Then you have to make some adjustments here and there, change some things, and within 5 minutes you're ready to go. Otherwise it would take at least 30 minutes to an hour just to come up with
Correct.
something that really clicks with the community.
Got it. So if you had to, should we just do a share screen? I'd love to know
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
some cases like, what are the, for you as a community manager of a gaming studio, what are you commanding ChatGPT to do for you?
Yes, yes, absolutely. um
And also, maybe it would be helpful to also go through some examples where it didn't exactly hit the mark,
yes.
and then you kind of prompted it in order to give it your voice, because ultimately this has to come from you.
No, yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm just looking. Yeah, I just got the right to share my screen. Ah, here we go. I hope you can see
Yes,
it.
yeah.
Yes. So let's take an example. Let's say you want to tweet about something. Okay. So you just tell GPT tweet about um let's say Frankie De Jong has scored 239 points in game week 140,
Mm.
firing FC Barcelona to a 1-0 win over Letico. Madrid, and that makes him the MVP of Game Week 140. Now, as you can see, I've used Game Week 140 twice in this prompt, but when ChatGPT produces a result, you'll only see it once, which is actually the right way to do it. You don't want to do it twice. So, yes, give me that. Okay. Yeah. So De Jong with the magic touch. It would have taken me time to come up with that.
Sure,
To
of
be very
course.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scoring 239 points in game week 140. He's the powerhouse behind Barcelona's 1-0 victory against Atletico, crowned the MVP of the game. So this is where it has made a mistake. He is the MVP of this specific game week, not the game only, which is like a complete sports
Yeah,
term.
those
So
are
I'll
specifics.
not, yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
You edit the sports stuff out.
yeah. And his brilliance shines through. Feels
Yeah.
like a bit too much, so I'm going to cut that down. So you just copy this. So I'll not open Twitter. I'll just show you right here. So De Jong with the magic touch. Okay, that works. Not the best it can do, but that works. Scoring blah 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 points. Crowned the MVP of the. You just change it to game week. Okay. Just change it to game week. You remove the last part. The best part about ChatGPT is it gives you a lot of
The hashtags.
hashtags. Yeah.
Correct.
I
Correct.
don't want those ones. I want my game to be up here. So yeah. Yeah. And that's how you get a decent caption out of it.
Right.
So it's super easy. And I think this is one of the very basic things that people use GPT for. So I'll show you something extreme that it can also do.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we'll make it write an email, which still won't be perfect because AI
Yeah.
is not perfect yet, but yes, it will produce something that you can just swivel around in 5 minutes and use it instantly. So write an email to dormant users who So we are going to write an email for dormant users and try to lure them back through signed shirt giveaways. So
Would you
yeah,
say this is how, Pushkar, now when you're running an email campaign, would you say this is how you would start? Like
yeah,
you'd start by getting the
yes,
flow in ChatGPT and then, of course, tweaking it to,
yes,
your language and what works.
yes. So like you can see right here, it has given me the major part of it that I don't have to write myself.
Yeah.
So I'll remove the personalization stuff as a valued
Yeah.
member, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And so this is something that did not come up to my mind, but it gave me this is how
Mm.
do I explain it to a user who has only signed up
Right.
once to the game that
Yeah.
they need to come back. So you just need
Got
to log into the game, update your team, register it for the next game week, uh, complete a match day prediction. We can just replace this with something like enter this specific tournament. Step 4, you're in the race to win a signed jersey. And
Correct.
yeah, you put in a nice, sexy looking static right here, and you're done. And you're going to produce some 13-15% conversion rate, and you're a boss of emails. So yeah, ChatGPT does most of the work. You
Correct.
just need to know how to get it done.
So from
So
tweeting, email campaigns,
yes,
I'm assuming other types of obviously content creation, anything that you need to
yes,
put out there to your
scripts,
fans,
anything. Yeah.
scripts, right? So, is there anything? So let's stop the share screen for now. And in the interest of
Yes,
time, I want to just go through a few more questions. Is there any place where ChatGPT falls short, or where you might
yes,
leave ChatGPT and go to something else, or use something else to do the same kind of content work?
yes. So the thing with ChatGPT is, it's never going to be perfect, at least for
Mm,
me, because I ask too much of it. So the
mm,
thing is, sometimes I feel irritated because I have to
mm,
explain the same thing to it again and again. So that's the
mm.
difference between a person and AI. And you need to get a premium, of course, of ChatGPT so it remembers all the stuff. But as a free tool, and most people use it as a free tool, no one's really going to, unless you use it as extensively as I do, you're not going to go out and shell out $20 every month just to use it.
Yeah,
So the thing is explaining the same thing. Okay, this is Ultimate Champions, this is a game developed by Unagi, it's a
yeah,
football and basketball fantasy sports game. It takes up a
yeah,
lot of your, let's say, mental space. You don't want to keep
yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
And that's one of the drawbacks. Secondly, it has never produced a result that I've used like for like. And that's something that's actually fascinating, considering I use it at least 19 to 20 times every day, and
yeah,
not once in a year and a half has it managed to produce a result that I could use like for like. So those are the only two drawbacks, but of course I can work with them. And
yeah.
it cannot produce images, at least in the current form. So that for that I use most of the Adobe AI tools, where of course the generative AI fill on Photoshop is a game changer, of course, in how graphic designers have worked so far. Of course, I'm not an expert in that domain,
Yeah,
but I've managed to develop my basics through
yeah.
YouTube and working with very, very skilled people in the past. So, yes, I think these are the only two drawbacks.
So, you had mentioned early on in the podcast that one of the things that mattered to you was, or rather, one of the ways in which your life unfolds on a day to day basis is this kind of ebb and flow, right? Like you have this
Yes,
burst of work and then you take a break, you make some time for chai, hang out with family, work again, then maybe listen to some music and, go for a walk, take a stroll, right? So every tool that we use, right, we use it because we wanted to make our life easier, faster, make it faster, productive, efficient, jo bhi hai, right? In the context of how your life is, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of how your work happens, how would you say Chat GPT, um, uh, how is it similar to a different tool? Is it similar to any other tool that kind of just does the job better, or is there anything that makes it better or not as good as some other productivity? Because at the end of the day, it's also a productivity thing, right? It's saving you time and effort, not just giving
yes.
you content. So where does it fit into this scheme of what is important to you in terms of your pace of day?
I don't think it's a tool that can like for like be compared to any other tool that I personally use. And the reason for that is, see, every tool, like you said, makes our life
Yeah.
efficient. But there's been no such tool that makes it as efficient as GPT. And I don't think there will be one unless Microsoft jumps on the bandwagon and creates something crazy that we did not expect, like we did not expect ChatGPT to exist a couple of years from now. And I uh I personally feel like what GPT adds to my life is, it makes it more relaxing, because this is a tool I can 100% rely on with my closed eyes. I know I want this. It will take me 5 minutes and it's going to produce this. You cannot rely on a living, breathing human like you can rely on ChatGPT. And
Okay.
that's something that I absolutely love and even adore about GPT, that
Mm.
I can have 5 extra minutes of chai time with my brother, with my parents, and I know ChatGPT will cover those 5 minutes for me when I'm back on my desk. So I think
Right.
that's the best part about it.
If you had to complete this sentence for me, ChatGPT is a great tool for people who want to dash how would you fill in the blanks there?
ChatGPT is a great tool for people who want to do absolutely anything with content. Absolutely anything with content. I've spent a good amount of my time writing YouTube video scripts and writing articles and whatnot. I wish they created it before so I did not have to. And yes, you can do absolutely anything related to content with ChatGPT if you know how to create the right prompts. If you don't, start using it, you're going to learn it in no time. This is a
Okay.
tool that you grow with every time it gets updated. There's a new version. I don't think it's a very difficult tool to use. Not at all.
Okay, the last thing we have left is a rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, first question. Name one item on your bucket list.
I want to see the Northern Lights.
Nice. Okay. Which social media platform are you most active on?
Reddit. No, I'm not. I use it the most. I'm most active on Instagram.
Okay. I was just going to clarify and say no, you personally. Okay, so Instagram. What comes to mind when I say happy?
Inter winning the 2010 Champions League.
Okay. Okay. Do you own a vehicle?
Yeah.
What do you own?
I own a two-wheeler and a car.
And which two-wheeler and which car?
I own a Maestro. I don't know if you know which one that is. I can't ride a bike, and I own a Maruti Suzuki Brezza.
Okay, awesome. That was it. Super painless, rapid fire round.
Yes.
Completely random questions, not connected to each other, but it gives us a glimpse, another glimpse into who you are. And
Yes.
Pushkar, thank you so much. This was a really, really great session. I've not had a sports aficionado like you on the show before, so it's really cool to see just how you're just dropping names and dropping like game scores and names of players, things that are completely out of my world, but was wonderful hearing you talk about it. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the week.
Yeah, it was lovely being here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it was an absolute honor to show people around what my day and what my work is like, which I love to talk about all the time. So, yes, thank you so much for inviting me. And I hope you and whoever's watching this has a great day and a great week ahead.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.